We're live.
Right now.
3, 2,
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. That's
Hello?
three.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. How good?
How good.
How good
How
is
good?
panic buying?
Sorry? Let's
What?
not let's
How
just
good,
talk about that.
how good is panic buying?
Panic buying. Oh.
We'll say this at the start. We're going to briefly touch on
Yeah.
coronavirus. We're not going to dig deep into it
I was
because
hoping we'd ignore it entirely.
We're a little fucked off.
we got to mention it, obviously.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest recessions we've had in years.
Yeah.
But I will say that I know people are probably sick of this shit now. So
Literally.
we'll have our piece and say like what's been going on and
Yeah.
all that kind of shit, but we got better things to talk about than
Definitely.
what everyone's seeing every
Yeah.
day of the week. So
Yeah.
Well, I went into Pack and Save. What day was it? Tuesday night, I think it was.
mm-hmm.
Just went to get some Oreos, you know. Fucking love me some Oreos.
Standard.
So I went
Oreos.
in and I was like, holy shit. Dude, it was just mayhem. This is at 8:30, 9 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
And it's like lines all the way back to like, you know, Pack and Save Albany where you have like the checkouts.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go around the back and there's kind of like the winery and stuff where
Yeah.
you get the beers and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, lines were like back to there for like every checkout. Like,
Jesus.
What do
It was
people
fucked.
think is going to happen? Do they
don't
think
know.
like all of the food production people are just going to die? And then all of a sudden there's going to be no food and everyone's going to have to start growing their own veggies.
yeah. I
Well,
think it's...
Well,
there you go.
the reason people are doing this is because people keep talking about it. You
Yeah.
see the people in the States taking videos of everyone in the supermarket and stuff. What instantly hits these brain dead people's heads is, oh, everyone else is doing it. I better get in there early as well. Like I better go
Yeah.
buy some bread that's going to go moldy in a week anyway.
But the
Yeah.
act of overbuying is what's really creating this shortage, right?
Yeah.
So there's people out there that are buying way more than they should be. And so people will look at that as what's creating this shortage.
Yeah.
So really it's only created because of people like
Self-created.
panicking. It's like self-created.
You're not going to run out of food, but you are going to run out of food if you keep buying
Yeah.
it.
If everyone buys the shit,
I
exactly.
think it's because they're worried about going into quarantine as well. So it's like when you go, oh, we're going to be in quarantine for 2 weeks.
But you go into quarantine, right? You can still go to the supermarket.
I don't think you can though.
But the thing is, once it gets to that point, you know, people can't go to the offices, do all that.
Yeah.
The essential places are still open. I was reading into it, like, I think it's like phase 4 is where all businesses shut down except for essential. You know, you got petrol.
Yeah. I think they should have
supermarkets.
done phase 4 straight away, to be honest.
I
I think
don't
they
know.
should have just said fuck it and just gone like, look, we don't want to get to the point of it, what it was like in the US and Italy and shit.
Yeah.
And just gone like, look, we've had 5 cases. We might as well just go full lockdown for 2 weeks, do it, get it out the way, and just like test everyone or test as many people as you can in that 2 weeks of quarantine, and then get all the cases like put in quarantine those people instead of just being like, oh, we'll wait for there to be more cases, we'll wait for it to get worse and worse.
Yeah.
And
I don't
you're
think
like chasing your tail the whole time.
I don't think
you
they're
know?
waiting for more cases. I think they're just letting people plan, like, what the hell they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
You're a small business. You're suffering the most. And you need
definitely.
you need a timeline to, like, know what the hell you're actually going to do. And so you go straight into lockdown straight away. There goes your income. There goes everything. There's no planning or anything.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Because
No.
now it's in community spread.
Yeah.
People are just going around, you know, you touch a supermarket trolley, the next person touches it. People pick up stuff off the shelf. I don't want that. Put it back. Unless people are going around spraying them like crazy.
I did the gym, They have like the spray bottles.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Just a workout.
hasta la vista. That was fun, man.
But 9 times out of 10, I'll be honest, when I wash my hands, right, probably within the next minute or two, I've instantly just gone like this.
Yeah.
Touch
You
my head.
Touched
damn.
your phone?
Yeah, your phone.
How many times have you
Yeah.
gone out, played basketball, you've like, you know, touched the ball, you've touched people,
Touched
you've
everything,
gone
yeah.
out, all that shit, sweated, everything. And then like you go like, oh, shower, boom, and then you like straight away grab your phone. And like
It's
your
still
phone
on
was, your hands were dirty when you first grabbed your phone,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you haven't cleaned your phone. And yeah, I don't know. There's a
Fir-
lot of things.
First time ever today in playing tennis, I didn't check the opponent's hand after the match.
Yeah.
But I said to him, because we had a really good game. Like, I won. It was like a really good match, like good-hearted match. Like, we were just having a laugh. And at the end, we had like a really good rally, and then it ended. And then, like, I walked up to him, and it was like a shocking point. I was like, damn, I can't believe I just won. And then I went up to shake his hand, and I was like, "Did you want to shake my hand?" And he just goes like this, just like an air kind of.
Yeah.
So.
Did you not give him an elbow bump?
But you can still elbows. You're still transferring germs, right?
Yeah, my pop did that. He walks in my house yesterday and he just goes,
Elbows up.
"G'day,
son.
mate."
Well, you can't see him anymore, right?
Nah, well, I said to him, like, I was like, because they were asking, they wanted to come see us because they just came back from a massive trip. They went down to South Island for like a couple of weeks,
Right.
camper vanning and stuff. And so we were like, they're like, we want to come around for a bit to say hi and see what's up. And we were kind of like, you
Not a
sure
good
you
idea.
kind of want to come around? And they were kind of just adamant. So we're just
Is
like,
this your family from Tauranga?
no, this is my dad's parents, so
Okay.
the ones that live up north.
Gotcha.
So we're like, whatever, sweet as. And it's like, I was kind of skeptical because I was like, their health is not great. Like they've been in and out of hospital a lot recently. So I'm just like, but I don't know. Can't really. They're the people that we were like, they're like, we'll go out and have like dinner or we'll go out and have lunch. And we're like, it's stupid.
Not a good idea.
And then they're like, well, we want to help the small businesses. Like we want to help those people that are struggling. And then they're also like, we kind of want to live. We don't want to just fucking sit in our house and just die away or just like wait it out.
That's what it is.
So I'm just kind of like, I kind of somewhat respect it in a way. I'm kind of like, fair enough. If like,
if you want to get out,
just
then
fuck it. Like,
get out there.
it's like the only thing is, you're like putting other people at risk, But I don't know.
That's what I worry about is people aren't educated enough to know that you put anyone at risk if you leave the house.
Yeah.
And like people come back from the States, like I have tennis friends who are living here now who have to stay at home for 14 days. Can't see them. So while they come back from the States, that's why.
Yeah.
And you should stay home.
No, definitely. The worst one is people getting like depressed from like self-isolation.
It is quite hard though. 14 days is a long time
but
staying in your house.
Really? Like 14 days in the whole scheme of things is not a lot. It's like, think about it. There's a lot of things you can do now at your house. It's not like back in the 60s where you just had like a radio or some shit.
Yeah.
Now you got like consoles, games, movies, Netflix. There's so much
dude,
shit.
I'd
you
feel
can
like
do, bro.
I'd go crazy though.
They're almost too accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you treat those, like you treat place. Well, I play on my computer all the time, but you treat it as like a leisure, right? You have a long day of work. You go home, you like chill out, you wind down and do something. But then you're winding down the entire day now. You're just
14 days of winding down.
14 days just to see if you actually have symptoms.
I don't see why you can't go out for a walk.
You could probably go out for a walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that.
If you're away from people, I don't see how that, because it's not transmitted by like air, right? It's only transmitted by touch. Or
I
like,
think it might.
No, it's transmitted by air.
Yeah. Okay. Because I heard there
Go for a
was
walk
something on the
4 a.m.
news saying like it's very like you can't. It was very minimal in terms of like talking to someone who has it.
Yeah.
It's more like if you touch them and shit.
And if they're not showing symptoms, then it's very unlikely to be transmitted. Through the air, especially.
Yeah.
So you said you were feeling a little bit sick today.
Well,
but
today
that's why
I
I asked you if you were coughing.
Well, I had a bit of feverish like shit. I was driving my car, but that's probably just I've been drinking heavily for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking go home and I just drink 3 bottles of water and I feel a lot better.
You're gonna be feeling sick.
Yeah, I've smashed back.
regardless.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe 2 of these already today, and then probably like 2 or 3 yesterday. Yeah, just smashing back water. Because it's like that's what you meant to do.
Well, drains
just
it out.
flush it out your system,
Yeah,
man.
flush out your system.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy fucking time we're in.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Driving me insane, man.
Well, we did play our first round of basketball on Tuesday. That has since been shut down from the coronavirus.
Yeah, that's done.
But
Surprisingly,
how
Pre-game,
good
dude.
was that game?
Pre-game. That was what, you're being sarcastic, obviously. That was a tough game.
It was a tough game.
But talking to the opponents at the start, like everyone knew it was like, there's no way of stopping.
It was gonna.
It's going to transmit if anyone here has it. And so we greet each other at the start of the game. We go doing elbows and stuff. And I'm doing the jump, and then I said to the guy at the jump, I was like, 5 seconds, you're literally going to be posted up against me. You're going to be touching me in 5 seconds. And he was just like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And we were saying, like, way to put off the free throw guys. Like, walk up to him and just offer a high five.
Just like touch him on the shoulder.
Yeah. No, grab the ball and just go like this. There you go, mate. Shoot it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, we don't really need to say much more. Just everybody stay safe and don't be stupid.
Drink
Drinking
Drink water.
Hydrate. Important.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah. Bloody rum.
All the people drinking Coronas though is fucking hilarious.
I know.
Every time I see someone walking out of a supermarket with like a box of Coronas, I always like look at them and I'm like, nice.
How funny would it be if that's the cure at the end of the day?
Oh,
There
Like
was
alcohol.
that rumor going around that alcohol cured it,
Oh shit.
but
there's no way. It would fuck your immune system.
Like-
nah, I think they were thinking it was the heat that your body produced. But
Right. Oh.
nah, I think they
Putting-
they came out pretty early.
Putting
and said
something
that
in
was
your
not true.
system that doesn't really want to be there is probably
Yeah.
Not the best cure.
yeah. Your liver is just dying every single time you drink, and then
Yeah.
Corona sales though.
Yeah.
The
Coronas.
sales of Coronas, they went down initially
Now
because of
they're
the virus.
spiking.
Now, if that was true,
because they
Let's go
recently
through the
released
roof.
that new low alcohol Corona. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Ligera,
yeah.
I think it was called.
Yeah.
really, Damn.
Yeah.
Bad.
But now they're
timing.
spiked. Corona's now like selling on a fucking
Oh, they're
shit
selling
ton.
way more.
Because
Just
people
for
are
people
isolated.
having a laugh.
And people
Yeah.
realized that it wasn't made from Corona,
Oh,
right?
You'd be pretty fucking stupid. To
Well, I think
Thick
it-
as two short planks to think that it was.
Well, at first, people were just seeing it on the news briefly when it wasn't a big deal, just like coronavirus. And then now that it's become a bigger issue, everyone knows about it, obviously. So now they're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, now we know what it really is.
Well, if you had brains, it came from China. Chinese
China
people
virus.
don't really drink beer, so that's kind of the first sign that it didn't. It wasn't from that, but yeah.
Yeah.
How have our weeks been, apart from being
Slow.
somewhat isolated?
Slow, yeah.
Pretty slow, yeah.
Slow.
Yeah.
Well, work has really kind of cut off for me because people don't really want to promote stuff right
Have
now.
you been into work this week?
I did like kit packs on Monday.
Yeah.
But
How many gigs went ahead this week?
I think it all got cancelled.
All of them.
Shit.
I checked our Staff Connect thing. I don't know if it's because everyone's taking them, but all I see is like one brand and that's it. Maybe two.
Yeah, I know
But-
you guys got shut down because Josh Taplin.
Yeah, he posted
And I
on
was
the
like,
story,
oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Although, like, think about how busy the supermarkets have been.
But think about the businesses probably not want
Yeah.
to be putting
Like
money
transmitting
into
that. Like, it's pretty unhygienic, to be honest. I think
I'm
that,
not unhygienic, but people aren't really there to. Well, you go to a supermarket, you're not really there to buy someone's shit they're promoting anyway. But given the context now, there's no point.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck. They're just like, they want to get in and get
Yeah.
what they want.
You'd rather save that promotions money for, say, protecting the damn business if it goes hella
yeah,
bad.
true.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's going downhill on the promotion side. But yeah,
We should start a business, mate.
I don't know.
Get some money.
Selling hand sanitizer on Trade Me.
Right, your kitty cat's here, bro.
Oh, cat. Don't touch it. Don't. Nah.
Have we got the coronavirus? Bro, he
Hopefully
wants
he
to go
jumps up.
outside, bro. This cat, man. Every time I come round,
We'll try to get him up here.
it's straight up, just like
What's your cat's name?
Benji.
Benji.
sits by that door
Put
down
him up
there,
on the
bro.
table.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
if he
scratches
jumps on that stool.
GG.
It just like sits next to that door and just scratches it until you open it for it, man.
Yeah.
Benji.
Yeah, well, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts this week, especially because I've been at work and there's been like no business. And
business.
the those things I was showing you last week actually come in pretty clutch at work.
The things?
Those headphones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
because when I work at the bar, my manager's to the left of me,
So you're
inside,
strapped on the right.
so I can put on the right side.
Nice.
And then
Stealth.
I've listened to like a couple 3-hour podcasts the last couple of times I've worked, which has been awesome.
Mighty.
Nice.
Getting paid to do podcasts.
Excuse me, sir. Can I get this? Huh? What?
Yeah.
Change it to the, what is it? The transparent. When you
Transparency mode.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, manager. I actually just recently installed this hearing aid.
Yeah, that's. I
I got punched in the ear last week, and now I need this thing.
I was just assuming people would think it would be a hearing aid because
Yeah.
it doesn't. Obviously, if it was an AirPod, like it would look a lot different.
It's just like a toothbrush in your ear.
Yeah, but this one actually looks like sort of like a hearing aid. So
Because it just covers the
Thought I could
whole
get away from
thing, right? As if it looks like you. Yeah, it basically looks like.
yeah,
your
it just
ear.
sits in your ear.
It looks like those things that people wear when their ears are basically
Yeah.
deafened ear. It's just
Yeah,
black.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's coming clutch.
I love listening to podcasts, man. When you finish, I'd say when you're doing some kind of like labor or something, I feel like that's the best time to listen to podcasts.
Oh yeah,
How good.
just goes so well with it.
All of y'all,
Oh,
do
good.
some labor,
Oh,
you
dude,
lazy
I'm-
buggers.
I've been watching so many American like YouTube videos, and all of them just like
Y'all,
come on, y'all.
come
And it
on,
just-
y'all.
Every time now I hear it, it just like makes me crack up.
Y'all.
Just shorten it instead of y'all. It's
Yeah.
y'all.
I do like y'all.
I do like
but
it too.
I would never say it just because it's so uncommon for us
y'all?
to say.
I'll say it as
Yeah,
a joke
it's-
as I'm coming in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like y'all.
It's not common. I don't even think of saying it, to be honest.
Nah.
Y'all.
No,
If I say y'all crazy,
Y'all.
I've lost my mind.
you'll.
Y'all
I say
are
like
crazy.
you'll.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you'll.
You'll
Here
be
it's you'll.
crazy.
You'll regret that. Y'all.
Y'all regret that. Yeah, that's a y'all regret that.
I'll regret that.
Boys, what are some good podcasts outside of
Bill Burr.
our one
And Joe Rogan.
and Joe Rogan? What else we got?
Bill Burr's podcast.
Bill Burr-
His
Bill Burr's
Monday
a great
morning
one.
podcast.
Yeah,
Chris
highly
D'Elia's
recommend
is
that.
good. I like Chris
D'Elia,
D'Elia's
yeah.
one.
Chris D'Elia?
He's just
All the smoke's good too.
Yeah.
All the smoke's good.
There's another one. I think
The Hamish and Andy podcast. If you guys,
I haven't listened to that.
you guys know them?
I know.
I know
You
Hamish
know
and
of
Andy,
them, yeah.
Yeah.
They still do a podcast. They've been going for like 12, 13 years, but they're still really funny.
Yeah.
Really good.
I like do you know that when like all the YouTubers are like punching and boxing each other in the States? What's his name?
Was it
Geordie? Something Geordie? He's like the stocky ass dude with like the beard.
Oh,
You know what I'm
the
talking
dude
about?
that looks like he's been to prison.
Yeah. Is his name True Geordie? True Geordie?
I think I know the guy you're talking about. He's massive and he has like. His
He had a
other
go at
dudes-
McGregor on like one podcast.
Yeah, I think I know the guy you're talking
What?
about.
He's
had-
trying to get a fight with him.
No, because there was that video that went around of McGregor punching an old dude at a bar.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that.
And then he was just like, "You're in the wrong, man. You're in the." Oh, I can't do a Geordie
No,
accent,
I
but
know you're talking about. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think I know the guy.
his podcast is like quite good. The audio is just so therapeutic, and just hearing a different accent is like,
Yeah, he had Dan Bilzerian on it one time, didn't he?
really?
Yeah, and Dan Bilzerian was like, they were like eating like a steak meal, all of them, and Dan Bilzerian's just talking about how like why all these chicks are like into him and like it's so funny. Man. It's like I don't even know why all these chicks are around me.
It's the biggest myth. Why this guy?
Yeah. Why? Why does it?
One thing I remember of Dan Bilzerian was him
Exactly.
recording a video during that like shooting in Vegas. Do you remember that?
No, I haven't seen that. Well, I haven't.
When
I
like
think I've
people
seen
were at that country concert, and he was like recording a video. He's just like, there's some mother up in the buildings like shooting at us, and he's like recording and stuff. He's like on the ground. He's like running away, like trying to help people, and it's nuts. Oh, what's up, cat?
There he is.
Take a seat. Get a mic. Grab a mic.
Grab a mic.
Welcome
Tell us about what it's like to be self-isolated forever.
Welcome to the podcast. How good.
Oh, good.
No,
I didn't want to be in the video anyway, Benji.
I think I know the video
Oh,
you're talking
don't-
about.
Alright.
Oh,
They probably want to see him
don't
more.
need to see
yeah.
him
You
anyway.
don't care about us. You can hear us. You can just look at that.
This is gonna be our biggest podcast just for the cat.
I know.
Just have that as the thumbnail, bro.
Put that in the put that in the title. The first podcast where we have pussy.
Dan Bilzerian
Right
style.
on the screen. It's right there. You can see it the whole time.
Do you want your?
Yeah, thank you, man.
Oh,
There we go.
ooh, that was close.
That was
quick.
not a stealth landing
I
though.
know.
No, but it's slipping.
No.
Smooth moves from Benji.
No, that dude, that Dan Bilzerian though, he is.
What a nutter that guy is.
He's another.
He must be.
He lives
Something
a
must
great
be.
fucking life though.
You
Something
guys-
must be there. Like how.
I think it's just his overall like he doesn't bullshit. He's just to the
I reckon
point.
he's a huge bullshit.
But what does he actually do?
to the point
Nah.
What does
where
he do?
He plays poker.
Okay.
even that's been questioned because I've
and
played a
he-
lot of poker.
And he makes.
And I'm not rich.
Yeah, but that's how he made his money though, dude. He made his money from poker tournaments.
Well,
and then
they say that, but he's been to be honest, the poker game's come a long way in 20 years. And when he first came into the scene, basically from interviewing him, poker pros have figured out that he's like a terrible poker player. Like he has no concept of the game, of any concepts. Like although the game's changed so much in 20 years because math and all this shit's been applied to the game in 20 years. 20 years ago, he could have possibly made his money from poker.
Yeah, well, I know for a fact he made his initial like wealth from playing poker.
Well, he says that, but his dad has been not convicted, I think accused of some sort of fraud scheme, like money laundering or something.
They all do that probably.
So it's like that might just be a front for illegal activities.
He was also in the military, and I think he got a big payout for when
Oh,
he was
okay.
when he got injured. He
Yeah.
got like an injury or something to his knee or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but he had some injury that he could no longer,
Okay.
participate.
So
So
they've
they,
been discharged.
yeah, that's the word, discharge. I couldn't think of the word. But he also has a CBD and marijuana distribution
Yeah.
in California.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, once you're
He
rich, it's
he
easy to
sells
get rich.
like weed in California, bro. He has his own like
Legend.
it's
Oh,
his
yeah.
it's his ignition or ignite
Okay.
weed and CBDs and his all his like swimsuits, like his bikinis and shit. Like he has
his bikinis.
well, they are.
Yeah, he
He
sells.
sells a shit ton of bikinis, right?
Josh, you probably need to put the mic closer to your face because it's not really getting picked up on here.
Right. I'll just
Not
come
good.
down like
Just
this.
come down like that, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Might have to pick it up.
Yeah.
But,
No, not a problem picking it up. It's fine.
No, he was talking also about how because they were on that same podcast. They were.
There you go.
You do realize this is recorded, right?
You're not supposed to interrupt.
Technical
just make it
difficulties.
seamless.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go. I'm gonna be loud now.
There you go. Yeah, it's picking you up good.
He was talking about like because the guys were asking him like, how do you pick these girls to come to your parties in your mansion and hang out with you and shit? And he's like, literally, they just kind of like hit me up. They like message me or some shit, or he's like, oh, if I come across them, I'll like message them like, yo, come to this party or something like that. And he said you'll be so surprised about how many of them have like just they're complete catfishes. He was
Really?
talking about it,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah,
And he said because
yeah.
there's all these filters now, like Snapchat filters,
Yeah,
Instagram
dude,
filters.
it's insane.
Hard to
He's like-
tell.
Insane.
He's like, it's actually crazy how many of them are like catfishes.
They show up, and yeah.
That is
I know
really
what you're saying.
weird. I did not know that. I would have thought he would have just been like going out there and being like, oh, say to his like agent or something, pick this girl up. Like,
I think he
she
does
looks-
hit
she
up
looks
a
attractive.
lot of like models. And
but you
stuff.
saying that she like girls message him? That's like what?
like some girls will message him and be like, oh, can I come to your party? Or some people will say, can I come to your party? And he's like, when it first started, there would be like him and like 6 of his mates.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
And
at
he's
this
like, it'd be like 6, it'd be like 20 girls to one guy, like ratio at parties.
Nuts.
Which, you know, for us gentlemen, that's a fucking,
That's a
that's a
mighty
great
ratio.
ratio.
It's a mighty ratio.
Especially if you're out there to just slam the pussy. But it's
That guy's an urban legend.
oh, the dude is a legend, man. Like even if you don't like him, he's
He
still
seems like a
legendary.
genuine guy as well.
I've watched a lot of videos
Nah,
of
he
him
does,
just talking,
He does.
of him just like talking and stuff, and he is like just blunt. He just says how it is, and I think that's why
He
he's
is
just
where he
like-
is.
Yeah, he's just there, and it's like probably why there's a lot of chicks that are probably attracted to him. 'Cause they're just like, he ain't gonna bullshit you. If he doesn't like you, he's gonna tell you. and
That's
you're not gonna
facts.
be welcome back, you know, like.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It gets them a lot of fucking
That's
attention too.
exposure right there.
Yeah.
Mighty exposure.
It's like was it Married at First Sight and shit?
Oh my
Did you
God.
guys watch that? Or like
I don't watch any reality
Bachelor
TV.
or Bachelorette?
Was one of you guys saying that like 3 of the girls committed suicide
Yep.
after?
I was talking about that. So
What
Love
was
Island.
that?
Love
Oh,
Island's
yeah.
Fucked.
one girl.
Fuck that show though.
One girl. I think she was huge. She had like millions of followers on Instagram, massive social following, but just came too much. People were just.
Trashing her.
How do you get to the point where you start hating on reality TV?
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
That's so bad because I've
Especially-
heard people talk about their experiences on reality TV before.
It's fake.
I had someone, someone from my work. I worked with this lady at the food show. You remember April? April at the food show?
yeah,
Silverfern,
yeah.
Her
Yeah.
daughter, who's one of the managers down south, she was on Married at First Sight.
Really? Oh, that's right. Because
When was this?
April was on it as well.
Yeah,
and you
she was
sent
in
it
the
to me.
car. She was in the car.
Yeah, and that was
And
When
she,
was this? How long ago?
oh, this would have been
Not
August,
last food show,
August
the one-
2018.
yeah.
And I don't know if it was her that told me or someone else at work because they're all talking about it. They said that she had to be a bridezilla for a bit. Like they said to her, you have to,
Be a
you know,
bitch.
kick off and say something just to
Yeah.
do something for the show.
And on top of that, the way they can edit the show.
What if you don't do it? What if it's like, no, fuck you, I don't want to do
They
that.
won't air it.
noticed- They
They're paying them to be there.
yeah.
You do what they tell you.
The
that.
editors also have so much control over like the narrative. Of
Oh, yeah, they show
making
what they
people
want to show,
look
yeah.
good or bad as well.
Yeah, that's why I hate those shows. My my dad watches them. I don't know. Yeah, I think he just knows a little shit.
Well, some people watch them to take the piss out of them.
People watch it just for the laughs, right?
Yeah.
But it's like for me, it just annoys me because I'm just like, this is so fake, and
Oh yeah.
it's just like it puts like, especially with that Married at First Sight. There's every season there's always like one person that cheats or tries to cheat, and it's like
Scripted.
it's just like, is this what you're trying to show to people, that it's all right to cheat? You know, if you're gonna air this on TV, it's like you're showing people that it's okay to do this sort of thing.
Your mum's watching
It,
this.
it doesn't make sense to me.
My
It's-
nana's watching, and here I am
Yeah.
cheating on this girl.
No, you're right
Exactly.
about like if you look up to those people as role models,
Yeah,
Which
You've
probably
got-
a lot of people do.
scarily, I'd
They
say
become-
scarily, because
yeah.
they are like some of the worst role models you can think of.
They become talking points for like months.
I know,
Yeah.
it's
You see
fucked.
people posting their stories. Oh no, I don't want that couple. I don't ship these people.
Yeah.
I wanted this one. And then it gets to the point where
It's
people are
terrible,
committing
terrible.
suicide because you're getting slandered so much on
Yeah.
reality TV, which I would say 50% of it most likely scripted.
Oh, 100%.
They bring people on who are talkers and can
Yeah.
say they're big egos.
Yeah.
So
And also
they
people that
will
want the
do
attention.
they will do their thing and say shit, but I'd say a lot of it is just kicked off, and
Yeah.
one of the directors is like, all right, you say this to this chick, or you do this to this chick, and then
Yeah.
I would like that would be a great guest to have on a podcast when you think about it. You just pick their brain of like their experience on the show.
Yeah.
Literally sit there and go, tell us.
Yeah.
Just for half an hour, they just explain everything. That
What
goes on.
happened?
Dude, we could probably, because isn't one of the girls that was on it, or what, I think it was last season, she's a primary school teacher at Angus's brother's primary school.
Really?
Yeah, and I saw her at Countdown in Maringi Bay.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was going through the checkout, and I was like, she was like kind of finishing and putting everything in her bag and stuff. And I was like, this chick looks really familiar. I was like, I don't know what the hell it's from,
Yeah.
but I like, because obviously Dad watched it, so I saw bits and pieces of the show, and I was like, I know her, and I was like, oh fuck, she's off Married at First Sight.
Oh man.
No shit.
Yeah, so
She's still married? She the other dude?
bro, she's now fucking dating Max O'Dell. Do you know Max O'Dell? You might know him. He played cricket at Westlake. He holds the record for the most runs in cricket.
Nina's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's dating.
what?
She's dating Max O'Dell.
Really?
So we could definitely try set this
Oh
up.
wow,
man.
that's interesting.
That'd be a funny episode.
That's interesting. I don't know that.
No, yeah, she's dating him because he's.
Was he on the show? No.
No. She broke up with the
She
guy.
got a
from the show.
divorce.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they got married.
I don't think they even married her.
'Cause I don't. I think after the show,
Clickbait.
you can sort of like say we're not gonna like be married. We're just gonna like date.
Yeah.
Dating at first sight.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, it's like it doesn't make sense to me because it's like if you go there and you just, imagine if you're just like standing there, right, and then like the chick just like walks down and you just look and you're like, oh,
Oh Jesus.
like I'm not trying to make offense to anyone, but it's
No,
like,
I know what you mean.
It's just like you have preferences of what you kind of want to date, right? It's just that's just factual.
Yeah.
You have preference. And it's just, imagine if you just saw them, you're like, oh god, like you
Yeah.
just know, like 50, like straight away, you're like, this is not going to work because
Yeah.
I'm not attracted to you, and then you just like forcing yourself to like someone. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, yeah, it's just the whole scenario is just terrible.
So dumb.
Yeah. Same with Bachelor and Bachelorette. I hate that.
That would be a fun show to watch with a big group of people, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
maybe.
the flat next to me, people who recently moved in, they say they get like 10 to like 15 people around just to watch The Bachelor and just laugh at it. You know, it's just a good laugh.
Yeah. I just find it cringy. I
It is
just find
cringy,
so
but then that's a
cringy.
good laugh, right? It's like
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I think just watching it to laugh is almost as toxic
Yeah.
as just watching it seriously in the first place.
Yeah. I just can't stand watching like, in my perspective, because I'm a dude, just watching like 15 guys all fight over like one girl. It's just,
Yeah, straight up.
it's just like watching this. And I'm like, there's no way I would do this. Like,
If you were on the show, what would you do?
well, I wouldn't go on the show in the first
Yeah,
place.
right.
But if I was on the show, there's no way I would
back
go
on the first
that.
plane.
I would take the piss the whole time.
Well, you'd be on national TV, so you'd have
Yeah.
to somewhat try.
I feel like
You'd
you would
probably
get
be there for a
credited more
reason.
for doing that than actually trying.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. I can't watch dudes just like all trying to compete for like one chick. That doesn't make sense to me, man.
What would you do on the show? I'm interested to know. So you'd say you just like take the
there.
piss.
I don't know exactly
What do you mean by take the piss?
You heard of Most Def?
like if everyone's
Have you heard of the How Good podcast, guys? Just a massive plug of our podcast under your like right there. First night
I don't
out.
because I just wouldn't buy into all the like all this shit where everyone's like competing against each other. I don't know.
I'd say
To be
like
honest.
given the context, it's so hard to say because I really wouldn't want to be on a show like that.
No.
But these people are like, I really want to be on this show. I really want to meet a girl.
They're so desperate.
It's I don't know if it's desperate. You're desperate to get exposure of yourself.
Yeah.
And these guys have egos like the size of
yeah.
Mars.
Yeah.
So
The latest dude that got kicked off, because Dad was watching the other day and I was sitting in the living room. He's like,
let's just watching it.
no, I'm not fucking watching. I was reading a Harry Potter book, mate. The guy goes, because they were like, some new guys or some shit got added, and they're like, oh, what do you reckon's gonna happen to these new guys? And this guy's like, when they're all waiting to get their roses and shit, and the guy's like, oh, they're just gonna be like friend zoned. He's the one that got fucking sent home.
Lad.
So I had a good
So
laugh.
the girl chooses who she sends home, right?
Yeah.
This is Bachelorette.
Yeah, Bachelorette.
Yeah.
There's
'Cause
two chicks now.
She gives roses, right? And then if you don't get one, you're off. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
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 But
Your poor cat.
Just gonna
scraping
ignore
that door again, man.
Hopefully they can't have that.
No, I don't want to be able to
I
do
can't
that.
do that shit.
I was just gonna let it out.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll take like 10
But
seconds.
I'll say anyway. One of the chicks that's on it was also on the Bachelor, and she was like one of the last couple. I think she might have been the last two girls, and she didn't get it. But she's 22 or 23. I was like, at 23 years old, you were that desperate to like get in a relationship or get married? Like, holy fuck.
I don't. Yeah, it's hard to understand their personalities.
That's crazy.
Going into
though,
the
man.
show. Like you're one girl, and you got however many dudes trying to get with this girl. If you're the girl, like you're saying, you would think they're desperate trying to get a relationship, but
Yeah, go to a
at the
bar,
same
they're gonna
time,
get 5 guys.
yeah. But at the same time, I think it's nowadays it's just social exposure, and
Oh yeah, 100%.
you're out there.
Get out there.
Get out there.
You wanted The Bachelor?
Yeah.
Get out there. What are some other reality shows?
I used to watch a lot of Geordie Shore when I was a kid.
I never really watched that, eh?
When I was a kid as well. So I'll come home from school. It'll come on MTV at like when I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And then there's two like Geordie people from Newcastle just piping each other in some room. But it was like funny. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Just the stuff that they say.
That's just kind of funny because
I love the
they're
Geordie
being
accent.
true to themselves. Like
Yeah.
that's actually who they are, sort of thing. So yeah, that shit's funny. I don't think I really watched any other.
Would you say Survivor's reality?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit.
I like Survivor. I watched a bit of Survivor, but it's definitely not geared towards like the sort of fake relationship stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
definitely more about the competition and
You're
like
surviving.
creating alliances, which is really cool. But I do
Yeah.
like Survivor.
Survivor was good. It's gone downhill a little bit now.
I haven't watched
Yeah.
Survivor in ages.
Yeah, not neither.
Hasn't it changed? It's like something new now.
Oh, they always do
It's
like,
like celebrity
they always
ones.
do like celebrities
They always
or
have different ones.
winners or something like that.
I remember if you want to watch a season that's good, we watched this actually, or I
Oh,
actually
yeah,
watched the
me
first
and
couple
you.
of seasons, first couple of episodes. Was it
remember-
Brains versus
Bronze, yeah.
versus Beauty?
Yeah.
that is a great.
There was that
fucking
one
season.
dude-
What was the second one you said? Brains versus
Brains versus
Brawn.
Brawn versus Beauty.
Brawn.
Yeah. So like
So
nerds,
that's like-
jocks, and what was it? Beauty and like
Beautiful people.
Gotcha.
people.
Gotcha.
And
That one dude that was the Brawn. Was he Brawn?
The cop. Are you thinking about? He's fucking great. He is great.
He would thought so highly of himself, man.
But
And everyone
that
sort of
is
threw him.
genuinely a great season.
Yeah.
But do you remember the Jatia chick in the first episode?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want to
She's the dumb bitch.
spoil it, but she's on the Brains tribe, and she does one of the dumbest things I've ever
She's
seen.
like a neuro. Wasn't she some like
Neuroscientist.
neuroscientist
yeah.
or like something like that. So she's on the Brains. She does one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Not even
In the
on
history of
reality,
mankind.
even outside of reality, which is then followed up by the even more dumb thing. Do you remember what happens after?
No, I can't actually remember. It's been a while.
Far away.
Yeah. Should I tell the story?
Yeah.
I guess
yeah,
I will. It's
I'm
only-
not- I'm
it's
not
only
gonna-
the first
Yeah, fucking
episode.
tell
but-
it.
Damn,
Funny.
spoilers?
So,
Damn.
so it's in the first episode. So the Brains are obviously terrible at challenges. It's quite cliche, but they're not athletic at all.
Yeah.
So the first guy is like that CEO kind of guy who's
Yeah.
like real cocky.
Yeah, yeah.
You remember him?
Yep,
And
vaguely,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
thing to do is they all get together and they're like, all right, guys, you're going to pick a leader for the team. He like puts his hand up. He's like
He's in a suit.
Scout. Arrives in a suit to a fucking island. Everyone else is wearing like outdoor gear. He comes in a fucking suit with a tie and a blazer. Puts his hand up to be the leader of the
Ready
tribe.
to go to the dry cleaners.
They're always like, nah, fuck you.
and so the first thing is it Jeff, whoever the host of the show is. He says,
Jeff.
he's like, everyone's in their teams. All right, kick out one guy from your team, right? And straight away, he points to the strongest guy. He's like, I'm kicking you out. And they're like, why do you think that? He's like, I'm thinking down towards the last episode of the season. You know, he's smart, he's strong. I'm going to be up against him when it's the final 2 or 3 people. He's the first guy out of the whole show.
Easy.
He's the first
Clearly
guy out.
not that fucking brainy, right?
So they keep losing all of the challenges. So like two brains go out, like straight off the bat. And then they're all like arguing. They're all in a bad mood in their little tribe. And one of the girls, Jatia, had like completely messed up a puzzle, which they're supposed to be good at.
That's
She absolutely choked on a puzzle.
That's right. I remember that.
So they managed to get a huge lead going into the puzzle section because it was like a physical section and a puzzle section. They had like 2 minutes to finish a puzzle. She's like a neuroscientist. She completely chokes it. They lose. And so everyone's agreeing like, yeah, we're going to kick out Jatia. Right? We're going to kick out this girl because she can't even solve the puzzle when we have like a 2-minute lead.
She's completely pointless.
Exactly. Yeah, like what's she doing? And then one of the guys from the brains basically says it to her face, right? Or he's like, all right, let's have a group meeting. And then no one wants to do it because apparently the whole point of Survivor is to have like secret meetings and all talk to each other.
Gotcha.
He calls a group meeting and says like, all right, guys, let's all vote out this girl, Jatia. It's like real awkward and it's like not really how you do it. They all have a walk down to the beach and then leave her at the campsite by herself. And she grabs all
the rice,
the 2 months supply of rice and pours it on the fire.
Why?
I do remember this now.
Because
She knew she was going to leave.
Because they basically called
Yeah,
a
she's
group
like-
meeting. The Brains Tribe called a group meeting and said, all right, we're going to kick you out. Right to her face. Like, no politics, no, like, making secret alliances.
Yeah.
This guy just comes and decides for the group, we're kicking you out, you know?
So she sabotaged the
And then they
entire
leave her alone for the rest of the afternoon. She sabotages the whole camp. And then...
Tribal Council was fucking hilarious too.
Oh my god.
And then the funnier thing is that
Did she
she
get
managed
voted out?
to spin it around and they voted the guy out that called the meeting.
What?
She didn't get voted out, and she
didn't
fucking
get
lost
voted
all
out.
their food.
She burnt all their rice.
Burn all their food and she stayed on as well.
How?
That's the first episode of a really great season. There are so many more great seasons, but
It was so funny, man.
I do recommend that.
Yeah.
That's the New Zealand one.
No, this is,
It's all American.
Oh, okay.
But it's fucking hilarious, man. It's so that I do remember that
So
now
good.
that you mentioned
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because I was
So
trying to think what she
funny.
did, and then when you said they left it to her own accord, I was
Yeah.
like, I remember
Yeah.
straight away. She tipped the fucking
Yeah.
rice on the fire.
Man.
But we didn't get past. We didn't get through that far, do we?
No, we were watching it together. We watched about 4 episodes together
Yeah,
or something.
4 or 5, something like that, yeah.
But I finished the season. But it is a great season.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But on the topic of role models, do you guys have like good role models?
I was gonna.
You
Like,
consider-
that was actually like what I was gonna lead into next. I was
Yeah.
gonna talk about
Oh,
like
good.
what like inspires you to do things and who you look up to as like a person.
Look up to you.
I think it's a good question because I think not becoming harder to find role models that are good, but I think the more prominent people these days, I'd say, are not necessarily good role models.
I'd say the generation below us is role models, is the people who stick their phone up on walls and then they go across and they go like,
The TikTok
Oh, dude, I can't stand TikTok, man.
the
What's
mic.
do you have TikTok?
I've never used
No.
it.
I don't. What is it? Like what?
So basically, you mindlessly, the flowing system is just insane.
Yeah.
It's so smart. So you open the app.
Yeah.
It's like Instagram, right? You can just scroll down, you see photos and that. The video takes up your entire screen, and you just once the video's over, goes to the next one. Goes to the next one.
So you can't skip the video.
You
or
can. You just. So the thing is, you have your phone like this. You scroll down, next video.
Yeah.
But once the video ends that you just watched, just goes to the next one, and it
Yeah.
continues to go. And so my friends, if they're watching, you know you're addicted to TikTok. But my friends at their flat, they always on it.
Yeah.
It's insane. My friend has like a library of all his saved ones, and he's like, "Oh, I got to show you this one." He's like scrolling down for a good minute trying to find the one. He's like,
Fucking hell, man.
What's the appeal of it?
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, like is that all there is to it?
I think the video. Okay, that I can't justify. I can't justify that, but for
Look, it does look like fun, a bit of silly fun, but the fact that it's as big as it is,
Yeah.
is really
It's like 10
puzzling.
attempts to make the damn video.
it's
too.
very it's great for like younger generation because
Yeah.
they mindlessly sit on their phone all day anyway.
Just
True.
consume the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's the quickest way you can consume video.
How long is the?
I think you can make them quite long, but like
Right.
it's usually around like 30 seconds or something like that.
Because that's such
30
a,
seconds is still a long time.
30 seconds is long.
to see all that information after each other, like bang, bang, bang. It's so bad for your attention span, right?
Yeah.
Surely to
Yeah.
see all that different shit.
I saw a really
Back to
funny
back.
video yesterday. So you know how at like schools, I don't know if you had it at Westlake, but oh shit, on some windows you'd have like one sill like this, which
Yep.
kind of runs across on like the windows, and then you got the outside one with like the same thing. So these girls like laid their phone up against like the sill
Yeah.
on outside, and then they're doing a TikTok outside, and there's a group of dudes inside. And then they're like walking past you, like, "Yo, go hit it, go hit it." Guy walks over, boom, hits the phone, and it just falls off the sill. And they all start cracking up. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. I
It
see
is
it all through
nuts, though,
Instagram, and I don't understand it. I'm like,
What?
Yeah,
Instagram's
I don't
become a TikTok repository, basically.
Yeah.
True.
I just
If you go on your explore feed like right now, you'll see like the
Yeah.
TikTok videos with like say they have like the text, so they'll have text with like colorful backgrounds behind it. And I would say another good thing about TikTok is like the editing. The way you edit the videos is so seamless, so easy.
Right.
You don't need something external to do it. You don't need to go on like Photoshop and do the video. You can just do it right on there.
straight away.
Straight away, it's a TikTok.
So it's not all dancing, right?
It's not
Is
all
there
dancing.
other-
No. There's actually
do people-
some really smart
Yeah.
ones. Did you see the one that I sent you with the Star Wars one like yesterday?
I think so. I'll check.
The one of the dudes playing video games, and the guy's like, "Oh, I just gotta go FaceTime this chick."
Possibly. I
So people do sketches.
People
as
do
well.
sketches.
That's-
Some of the
that's
sketches
cool
are
as well.
smart. Some of the basketball ones are quite funny.
I would like to see that, but all the TikToks I end up seeing are just the same like dancing stuff. Yeah.
Not
exactly.
the. Oh, it wasn't the. No, it wasn't this one. You showed me the. You
Nah, that's
showed me
too
the
far.
last
It was
one.
like 2 days ago.
No,
So
I think you have. I
it's
don't
this
think
dude.
you have.
It's these two dudes playing like a video game, and then they're both like jamming, and then all of a sudden the guy looks at his phone and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go, man. I gotta FaceTime this girl." And then the guy,
Oh, no, I have seen
guy
this
takes
one.
off his headphone and he's like, "When you realize your like bro is a simp,"
Yeah.
and then it's the music from like the Order 66. He's like FaceTiming this girl in a dark room. You can just see his face like being lit up by the phone. And then all you see in the background is this friend just with a lightsaber, and it just comes
Yeah,
out.
no, I've seen that one.
And it's just
I have seen that one. Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. That's smart.
I do
Yeah.
want to see more of those
But-
type of ones.
When you're dancing, and I mean,
Yeah.
how are these people getting famous? It's
Dude,
nuts.
I'll actually show you because you guys know Sean Reader.
Yeah.
So I saw he posted on Snapchat like a story. Hopefully it's still here, and it's like these Asian ladies like doing a TikTok in a car park. The shit's fucking hilarious. Like, look at this shit. Can you see it?
So they're just standing in the car park.
Yeah, and they're just like dancing, man, in the middle of the car park.
Oh my god.
They're just. I don't understand it. Like, what's the point of this?
I don't know. Just looking at that seems so futuristic to me. It's like, why do I feel like that's where the world's going?
That is where the world's going.
That
That's
is
where it's
the
gone.
world's going. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gone.
It's there.
It's already arrived.
We're right there.
Arriving to Earth. This is where we put the Transformers.
This is where I
theme
just
song.
wake up one day and I'm like looking around at everything.
But some of these girls that are getting really famous on it, they're like 16, 17 years old.
Like that
and they're
Edison?
multi-millionaires now.
Wait, you can get famous?
They're at
TikTok
they're
famous is a bloody sentence now. That's a phrase. You're TikTok famous.
How?
All-Star weekend, weren't they?
Yeah. Do
3
you remember
years?
All-Star Weekend when all the NBA players started doing like those dance videos? And then it's the girls,
Yeah,
like
and
there's
the
3 of
girls
them standing
came out,
behind each
yeah.
other and they're going like, and doing shit like that. And then it's like, the one with Jokic is funny as though.
Oh yeah, the one where they're all like switching out.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah. Like the Joker.
But it's crazy because then Aaron Gordon brought them out and they just started dancing on the floor and then he did a dunk. It's like, what was that? What just happened?
Yeah.
And all they're doing there is just going like this.
Yeah, they're doing nothing. They're literally just dancing. It was fucking stupid.
The ways to be rich and famous these days just amazes me. The shit you can do.
So
You can
on the
have-
topic of
you can have-
inspirational
You can have no talent. You can have no fucking talent and become Instagram famous, TikTok famous, have millions of followers.
Yeah.
easy, mate.
I'd actually say a role model. I don't say if it's a role
Give
model.
us a good role model.
I don't know if it'd be a role model per se, 'cause I don't even know if I really like have someone that I be like, oh, I want to be like you, or I look up to you, sort of thing. But someone that I like do connect with well is Bill Burr.
I was thinking you were gonna say that just
Bill
as
Burr,
you were
man.
talking about it. Yeah,
I like all the
love
shit
how
he
he's so
says.
real.
I agree with like the shit he says. Like
Yeah.
when he does stand up or he talks and like on his podcast, like I agree with a lot of the shit he says.
He's
And I just-
definitely cut from that old generation where it's all about like being self-sufficient
Yeah.
and your own toughness, and doesn't matter what you've been through before, like no excuses.
Yeah.
But I also like how progressive he is on
Yeah.
a lot of things as well.
He just adapts to sort of how it comes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like he's not stuck in a certain way. He's like
Yeah.
developing.
Some comedians, a lot of comedians like that though.
I think
That's why
you have to be
comedians
as
are
a
so
comedian.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
You got to
Dave
be able
Chappelle.
to. Well, you can go through like a massive dip as a comedian,
Oh yeah.
but you gotta know how to get it back, right?
I was talking about this.
You gotta say some sketchy, like controversial stuff as well to get
'Cause
back.
I was actually talking about this. There was an advert for like a comedy shit, like the Comedy Channel. I
Yeah.
can't remember what I was watching, but it came on and we were having dinner. This was actually tonight, and I was like, it must be like really difficult to be like an up and comer like comedian. You know, like going to
Just
like a
trying
comedy
to
show.
Think of what you can say.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I personally don't like comics that just like say jokes.
Mm.
It's like for me, it's more like the story, and it's like most comics are just naturally funny people, right? But it's like if you can tell like a story and you make that story funny, just by the way you tell it, that's
Yeah.
like that's how I know you're a good comic, in my opinion.
because it speaks to a lot more than to be able to create comedy and speak on life to that level requires a huge amount of intelligence and also comedy on top of that. I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Cornel West on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah,
This is a really great podcast. I recommend it. But he, at the start of the video, they were talking about he was commending Joe for being a comedian, and Joe didn't really understand because to him being a comedian is just what he does.
yeah,
But Dr. West talked about it as being like a social commentator.
yeah,
You know, like being able to like navigate all the different social constructs, having a deep understanding of that,
yeah. Joe Rogan definitely is that person though.
and then being able to turn that into comedy and make it lighthearted. You know, is like an incredible skill. So
Yeah.
comedians really are really sort of, I don't want to say underrated, but definitely very intelligent.
They make it look easier than what it is, to be honest.
Yeah, like I think Bill Burr's a really intelligent guy. Right?
Yeah.
At the end of the
Yeah,
day.
he is, man.
Yeah.
And they'll probably all be really nice people as well out of
Yeah.
out of
Oh, hell
comedy.
yeah.
Because I find the people who find it easy to laugh at themselves are probably like the best people to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you
Just
fall
makes
down the
sense.
stairs and like have a yarn, like you don't fucking have a cry, right? You just laugh it off
Yeah.
because it's funny.
Yeah, for sure.
There's something Bill Burr would do in his comedy. He'd be like, get up! You don't do that! Man up! Be a man!
I love how real Bill Burr is, though.
Oh, that's why
so
that's why I
real.
like him though. He's
Yeah.
just to the point, and it's just
It's the same with Joe Rogan as well.
Yeah.
He's pretty real,
like
dude.
him on Conan, man, is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, because when you talk about role models and not necessarily wanting to be the person, but you want to take certain traits that they
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And definitely one thing that I want to take from Burr is just being 100% real at all times.
Yeah.
But also, he also has like intelligence and goodness as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's being a dick and he's being real.
Yeah.
He's just being real and he's a good guy.
He knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
So
You know that he's not trying to be a dick. You know, he's just speaking his mind and he's just speaking like his opinion, sort of thing. So
and he
it's like,
does get
yeah.
angry at a lot of shit today.
It's
and
funny,
it's like
yes.
a lot of people would be like, "Why are you angry?" But it's like there's a lot of shit today you should be angry at. So that's where also being real, I think, is really
Yeah.
cool from him.
Like his character on Mandalorian, I hated his character so
You
much.
didn't like his character, dude. That's
As
that's
in,
the
like
character
he was such a
plays.
good character
yeah,
that
yeah.
I hated him so much,
Yeah,
and that's hard to do.
It was so funny when I saw him on it. I was just like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck, Bill Burr?"
Yeah, because he walked out, and it took me a sec. I think I sent you a Snapchat. I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, that's Bill Burr."
I watched the episode straight away.
Yeah, I was like,
"Oh, I need to
"That's
watch
Bill
this."
Burr."
Because
Damn.
he actually talked about on Conan about how he never got into like the Star Wars. Like he was like, I don't understand why people got so into Star Wars. The whole mania around it. He's like, I never got into it.
I can tell.
And then when I saw him on the Mandalorian, I was like, This is a complete fucking like 180.
180, yeah.
Like what the fuck,
It doesn't suit him.
Joel do
at
a
all,
180 and beat.
dude. He played the character well though. Like he was just himself essentially, just talking.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. Who would you say? You or them?
Role models.
Role model was
I would say Schwarzenegger is a good role model.
Arnold. We'll start
Arnold.
popping steroids, eh?
Yeah, but again, not to be like him, but
Come a long way.
but for like what he's
Yeah,
achieved,
I mean,
sort of
yeah.
like sort of that limitless sort of achievement, and really having like unlimited goals.
He's probably got one of the best resumes on earth.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Definitely.
Governor, actor, bodybuilder. Guy looks after himself. Guy
Yeah.
can like
Olympian.
take a script and then work with it. And then he's Olympian. And then he
How many
ran
Olymp- how many
a state.
Olympians has he won?
Yeah, like
He governed a state.
and
It's like,
on
what?
that as well, it also and Roosevelt has the same sort of qualities.
Yeah.
And I've listened to a lot of podcasts talking about Roosevelt because he's such an amazing guy. But the qualities that people like that have is they're smart and like almost nerds, but at the same time they're equally physical and like rugged and strenuous, and then like they're able to have opposite qualities and hold them eachly like weighted to a high degree. You know, they're not just like one way. They have both elements to them.
Yeah.
I think that's hard to do, but that's what he does. Like you don't become like all of those different things without being like a real well-rounded person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now today you can become famous by just putting a phone on your wall and dancing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a good contrast. I think that's a really good contrast.
Yeah. Yourself?
I'm going to go with the mainstream one. I like Elon
Travis
Musk.
Scott.
Elon Musk, man.
Elon
He's
Musk.
a pretty big role
Yeah.
model for me.
No, he's
I don't
Just
know a lot
hearing-
about Elon Musk, to be honest.
Hearing his story, so he created PayPal, right?
Yeah.
So he was basically the person that essentially created
even know he-
online
I didn't even know he
online
created
banking.
PayPal.
It's so crazy to think he came from that, right?
And that was in 2009.
I just thought all he did was Tesla, and then he's been building ever since, like on just doing
Right.
shit.
But
It might
think,
not even been
if
2009.
PayPal wasn't successful, he wouldn't have created Tesla.
Right.
It's like there's people out there that you just need to give money to almost.
So I find with role models, I probably have like a bunch of other people which I take traits and try and put them into my own life. But I think the thing with role models is being able to relate to them
Yeah.
on a level.
Yeah.
Because the role models that you have should be people that ground themselves and bring themselves down.
Yeah.
Like every single time I see, because I watch a lot of like tech YouTube videos. One of the guys, I don't know if you guys know MKBHD. He's the
Yeah, I like it.
the dude,
Yeah.
the ultimate frisbee guy. He did an interview with Elon Musk.
I haven't seen it. I'll watch it.
So
though.
he did an interview with him talking about I think it was mostly Tesla and SpaceX. Like the guy owns what 3 businesses? I think he does OpenAI, which is one of the most progressive fields in computing or any technology at the moment is
Yeah.
AI. He does SpaceX, which he promised to get.
self-funded.
Yeah,
as well.
and then he does Tesla,
Oh damn it, man.
and he has PayPal, but I'm pretty sure he sold off PayPal.
Yeah.
But the way how he came up was, I think he slept in an office for a month on a
Yeah.
couch and just worked. He'd get off the couch and just go to work straight away.
God damn.
And I read in his book at the very early stages of his book. I haven't actually finished his book. I read it at the start and then I stopped. So I suck at reading. He said at the start in Silicon Valley, like the people there are super, super dirty, like really unhygienic people.
Yeah.
And he said the hardest part about being computer scientist, and engineer and all that kind of stuff is you could work continuously for days and just forget everything else. So in university, I had one of the worst like diets in my life when I went to university. I'll get into uni at like say 9, go to class, and just not eat for like 10 hours.
Shit.
Just because I go to class, get out of class, go straight to the computer labs and just sit on my laptop and code or do whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
You're so locked in with coding that
Yeah.
you're just stuck there. And to see, you got to see pictures of him when he was young, man. He's had hair transplants. He had like one of those like patches in his head there.
Got that
There's
LeBron haircut.
there's a picture of him in the 2000s. One of the earliest pictures I saw of him, he's stood there. I think it was him. He stood there next to a pole, and it's got like, pretty sure it was PayPal on the thing. He was promoting it somewhere, but seeing pictures of him when he's like younger is like so crazy, man. But yeah, he mostly inspires me of like being able to handle everything that he does, and he seems like a pretty genuine guy. And going back to what I was saying about the MKBHD interview, is that he's such a grounded person. He has social anxiety. You can see it. He stutters. He pauses. He doesn't know what to say sometimes. And I think everyone can like relate to that sometimes. You go to a party, you like meet dudes and you meet girls, and you struggle to talk to them sometimes. And yeah, what I like about him is he's so grounded. And every interview I've seen of him, he's not out there to, you know, people are just there to pick his brain, but he knows that. And so the way he approaches interviews, he pushes it back the other direction as well. You know, he'd ask him questions, and like I like that from
always learning.
And one thing I've noticed about listening to a little bit of a different topic from that. One thing I've noticed about listening to podcasts is you can tell when someone's like really intelligent, when you can tell they've been trained in how to talk. I listened to this dude on Joe Rogan called John Carmack. He was one of the lead developers on Doom, like the original one. So he was huge for gaming, like one of the first like sort of 3D games. And the way he spoke, like through the first like hour and a bit, because it was like 2.5 hours, the podcast, I'm pretty sure. The first hour and a half, you drop off after a while, but not a single time he said like or
Oh, I know. I say like.
I say it all the time. I say it all the time.
And
it's just you have to learn how to get that out of your speech, because it becomes a habit. And then your habit just keeps going and going until you treat it.
I didn't realize I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And
you don't know.
Like, oh shit, I'm saying it.
Yeah. Well, you just said I'm like. Yeah. You don't even know. So, you can tell when someone's intelligent just by how they talk.
How they speak, exactly. Yeah.
He's so direct, and he's a nerd as well. He's talking to me. Oh, sorry, he's talking to.
Talking to you, mate.
He's talking to me. Yeah. Basically, he was telling me about it. He was basically talking. He was talking to Joe Rogan about how he was talking about workload, because remember when that was quite a big thing. Like recently, all the people started saying, "Oh, some companies overwork people at Amazon and all these places," and he said it was just such a stupid thing because a lot of companies, people just do it anyway. He said he loves putting in the after hours because you feel satisfied doing that, right? So he said sometimes he'd take a flight to like another state, rich bastard, and would just go to the hotel right next to the airport and just sit in there and then code for like 10 hours a day.
Jesus Christ.
And then go about his life, do like a week where he gets away from everything and just codes, and then comes back and, you know, spends time with his family and does stuff like that.
Man.
Yeah, that's that by any means necessary mindset, which I really like. It's like doing whatever it takes to
hard work, man. Hard work.
Also,
you
think the issue with like, fuck, I said it again. See,
there you go.
with role models now, I'm like thinking
Yeah,
about.
I know.
You can see me like processing.
Just power
in my
through it,
head.
mate. Power
Just
through
be
it.
Barack Obama and be like,
today. Oh, fuck it up. The problem with role models now is people want to be someone rather than like look up to them.
Sorry, I'm gonna stop. I know what you
Instead
mean.
of like
though.
being like them, they want. It's like they see someone like on Instagram, and
they want to model that exact thing. I know what
like,
you're saying.
Oh,
yeah.
you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're handsome, you're jacked, you're wealthy, and they just want to be that sort of person rather than.
I think we've
like
all
the
fell
actual
into
person.
that trap, and a lot of people do fall into that as well.
Yeah.
But wanting to be an exact person, you know, emulate like everything you see about
I
them.
think it's hard now too because
The phrase "be yourself" is probably one of the most like underrated phrases ever. Because it's so true.
Hard
it's
to
true.
do, but
I mean, sometimes it is hard to do, but like when I do supermarket work and that, like, man, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm
Be
just gonna,
yourself.
I'm gonna say what I want to say.
buy my fucking shit. It's only $3.50. Just buy it.
You can't say anything because I'm being myself.
But like, do you find it hard looking up to people because you don't know if what you're seeing of them is actually real?
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Because it's like everything you see of them is on the internet, right? And it's most likely stuff that they're posting themselves.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem of social media in general. People just sharing the best things about themselves.
Yeah.
I would say
You don't get to see the dark things.
Yeah.
somehow a lot of my role models are older people who I don't think, but even then they would have the same sort of issue where you don't see
You
the
wouldn't role model
negatives.
yourself to someone younger than you.
No,
Well, I wouldn't
but I
think
mean
so,
like
at least would you? I want to be like.
sorry,
that
I
little
mean
guy.
like from older generations almost. So like
Yeah, yeah,
Roosevelt,
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
etc. But that is a good point.
If you're looking up, to,
Yeah.
like, if you're looking at someone, you're like, oh, I want to be like, who? I don't know who. You know, Bradley Martin, the gym dude. Do you know him? Who's someone that we all like, would see on LeBron James?
Okay.
You see LeBron
He's
James.
he's a
right?
great
He's
example
a bit different,
I
because
think
you
he's
see him playing basketball. So it's probably a bit different, but
it's a good example because I think he's somewhat a flawed role model.
yeah,
But at the same time, I think it's like not everyone's perfect. You know,
yeah,
that sort of thing. But
yeah. You still see like only really what they want to post or they want to share with you in a sense. Like obviously you see a lot more because he's playing ball, so you
And he's done a lot
yeah,
outside of basketball.
yeah.
Same with Kobe.
Fuck yeah.
rest in
Well,
peace.
not
Rest in
anymore.
peace.
But, yeah.
He doesn't
Well,
do much anymore.
speaking about deaths, it's changed topic completely.
Jeez.
This could be a role model. Kenny Rogers.
Kenny
died
Rogers died,
yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Saw that last night.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, bro. He died apparently from was it cancer or some? I don't know 100%.
He
what that
was I think he was
He was
in
old, right?
bad health
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah.
Someone comes up to me last night and goes,
That's crazy, then, man.
Kenny Rogers died from the virus. I was like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Mate, if he had the virus, it would have come out way ago.
It'd be all over the news.
Yeah,
One of the most well-known white folk music of all time. The Gambler, man.
Yeah, Gambler and Islands in the Stream.
see you
Great
out
song.
of it.
But I think most people know the Gambler.
Everyone knows
Right,
The
it's,
Gambler.
it's a
knows that.
great drinking song, man.
Yeah.
Great drinking
Yeah.
song.
You just boom, boom, nowhere to fall in, nowhere to walk. And then everyone just clocks out from there.
I know the words to that song. That's a great song.
Yeah.
But nah. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kenny
Another
Rogers.
death. There's a lot of older celebrities, I guess. You know, a lot of people that are just, I don't want to say ready to die, but
They're getting
around
old.
that age.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
They're getting old.
Who else is like that in the same boat?
Countless musicians: Bob Dylan, Van Morrison, anyone from that era. is
Harrison
getting-
Ford's getting quite old.
Harrison Ford.
Oh shit! How old is he? Roughly.
Oh, he'd be 70 something, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it would be. The Queen.
Who?
The
the Queen.
Yeah, she's getting old.
Damn.
She got moved away from England apparently.
Because of the virus.
Yeah, from the virus.
Right.
Need
He
her
is
alive.
77.
Jesus.
That's old, bro.
It's 4 years younger than Kenny Rogers.
77.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's old.
You wise.
That's old. Yeah. I don't know. Tough times.
Well, Tom Hanks got the virus there.
Yeah, he did.
I think he's clean now. I think he's fine
clean.
now though. I saw something. I don't know if it was legitimate. It was just I saw like a
Well,
bunch
he
of
did
posts.
get it a little while ago.
He got it in
so-
Australia, but that was
Yeah.
like when it was first like starting.
Yeah.
I think it was
He
like 2 weeks
did
ago.
get it a while ago, so he'd either be clean or dead. Is that inaccurate?
I don't think
He's definitely not dead.
so he's
You could
clean.
see it straight away.
It's about a week ago, right? Or longer that he got it.
Week and a half, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Did you have some topics? You said you had some.
We talked about the inspirational stuff. Given that now there's a pandemic around and we're going to be self-quarantined soon,
Right.
I wanted to pick your brains about what motivates you at like when you're at home or I know you go to the gym quite a lot.
Yeah, but that's gonna be
Um,
shut down soon, I reckon.
yeah,
I hope
but-
it fucking doesn't, man. Gym's been my sanctuary over the last.
The
like,
gym
3
is
weeks,
my
3 months.
way to fucking not lose my shit.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah.
I have to go to the gym and just like hit something or lift
Yeah.
something, just clear my head, put some hard fucking metal music on, and just
Go to town.
yeah, man.
Because there was 3 different things that I wanted to ask. It was what motivates you, what gets you like hyped. Well, we've just covered that one, and then what like calms you down, like what keeps you sane.
Good questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think motivation first.
What motivates me?
to get through these times.
Say you're just lying in bed one day on like a Sunday, and
breakfast.
2 p.m. in the afternoon, you're just lying on bed sitting there, and you don't know what to do. Like, what's one thing you would think to do to motivate yourself to like get up and do something?
I really like the idea of having like big goals,
Yeah,
because if you always have something to work towards, I feel like you're motivated. It's cliche, but you're motivated to get out of bed, you know?
yeah.
And I'll share with you, I don't even know if this is a goal because I don't know how realistic it is. But
any goal's a goal, man.
But at the moment, I want to take basketball as seriously as I can.
Yeah.
That's a goal.
almost
Yeah.
to almost like an Olympic level of fitness.
Right.
Like, I genuinely would love to play professional basketball, even if professional just means I'm getting paid like $5,000 for a season to play like somewhere overseas or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's still, lately it's been a real big goal for me, and it's been getting me into the gym for a couple hours every day for the last 3 weeks. And I know I talked about like losing weight and all that in the group chat, but I've listened to some stuff and I think I'm ahead of that.
But you're not the body type to put on mass though.
True.
Like your natural body, the way your metabolism and everything is, it's gonna be so hard for you to like get to like 70 kilos and be like super jacked. It's just because it's not your body type.
But revisiting, especially when you said that I do too much ball, because ball is a lot of cardio.
It's more you're burning off more than you're intaking.
Because at the rate that I play basketball, I guess that I'm losing about 600 to 700 calories an hour, if not more, from just playing. And I play a couple of hours every day, so if that's 1,400, then I need to be ingesting 2.5k on top of 1,700, and I definitely haven't been hitting that. So I've been tracking what I've been eating lately, and I've been hitting like 4,000 calories a day, and just in the last week. So I think that's where I'm improving. But I recently, when I was at work, listened to a lot of great podcasts about strength, about Soviet strength, because they set a lot of records, Olympic records, back in the day that had never been broken.
Yeah, it's called steroids, but yeah.
Russians. No, that is a good point. But apparently they adjusted for steroids or whatever. But basically, the short is that those methods are still some of the best today.
Oh yeah,
a lot of things. That
man. Look at Francis Ngannou from the UFC, man. That dude's a brick wall, and he grew up like shoveling like dirt and like rocks and shit, just like out on where's he, Cameroon or some crap. Just like that farmer mentality, sort of like strength, you know, like like shoveling, pulling, all that sort of stuff, like just real hard, like
labor.
Yeah, man, labor work.
Stuff, but I've been learning so much about recovery and like not actually having that one more rep mentality. Instead, looking for consistency over the days and doing sufficient amount of work over the days.
Consistency, I'd say, is probably the hardest thing to work with when you're reaching a goal.
100%.
Yeah, consistency.
And I would say my eating's been wrong over the last 3 months, but I've been in the gym every day, every second day, if not every day, over the last month. And mainly to answer your question, because I don't know if it's a goal, but it's something I really want to do, is just take my basketball to whatever level I can. Yeah. Just because I love the game so much. Yeah. And then part of having that goal is it makes it so easy to get in the gym and so easy to eat well and so easy to get out of bed. And conversely, I've been like extremely healthy over the last 3 months.
And you feel it as well, eh?
Absolutely.
You know when you're healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm
so
learning
fresh.
There's still so much more to, like, I feel how I am now, but there's so many more gains to be made. Absolutely. Especially
so many more chakras to be aligned.
So many more kombuchas to be drank.
Yeah.
I know. I'd still take your like your body and your metabolism. I wouldn't hate it, man, because if I ate the way you ate, like 4,000 calories and shit a day, like if I was eating heaps, like full on meals and gymming, I'd honestly be about like 76, 77 kilos, and I'm like 71 right now.
Because I'm gonna guess, but you're not pushing your intake of food, right? No, you're just eating when you're hungry.
Yeah, I fast a lot. Because at the moment I'm not like working, so I'm not getting out of bed till like I'm getting up at 9, so I'm having breakfast sort of 9:30, 10. So it's like my breakfast is like brunch. So it's like by the time I have lunch, it's like 1:32. So it's like everything's pushed back an hour. So half the time I'll have quite a small lunch, and then I'll have a big dinner, or I'll gym, and then I'll gym at night after I've had like a big meal. And then I'll burn that off. Because if I don't, I just store it, and then
The crazy thing for me is when I'm searching up these I'm searching up online for like fitness stuff, and every time I search like how to gain weight, the first thing that comes up is how to lose weight. And it's like, I'm just, from my perspective and your perspective, we're so removed from the people that actually need to lose weight
Yeah.
because we're so naturally lean.
Yeah.
Well, I got ridiculously high metabolism. I think
Yeah.
if I couldn't burn it off if, like, say, I've been doing loads of fasting. I went up to about 86 at one point, and for me that's no, I don't want to be 86.
6'3", 80.
I think I'm on the neutral on my BMI.
Yeah.
I'm not like in the healthy zone,
I
but
don't even know what my BMI is. What is a healthy BMI?
healthy.
I don't know.
I don't know what the number is, but there's like a scale. I think it's 0 to like 15 or something. The middle is
I think it's
where you
pretty
want to be.
flawed as well, though, isn't it?
It can be.
Bone
Well,
density and muscle mass.
it's just calculated from your height and weight.
Yeah.
That's all it's calculated from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it might say that Mitch is overweight, for example.
It does, yeah. It has
Yeah.
underweight and
Probably
then
definitely
neutral
say
and then
I would be
healthy and then
overweight.
It
overweight.
would say you're obese. Go see a doctor or something.
Yeah.
Not obese, but
Fat
you
boy.
5'7", 71, you fat shit. No.
Wait, so what motivates you much?
That's me.
is it like a sort of a life goal, like a place you want to be in like 5 years, or is it more day-to-day stuff that you want to achieve?
Are you talking about getting through these like coronavirus, or are you talking about just in
Just anything in general, right? So my analogy was, say you're lying on bed one day and you really want to do something, but you really can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Well, I still want to. I want to do like a lot of traveling and see shit.
Okay.
So I guess my goal would be to get my degree job, get my qualifications, get my CA, work for a bunch of years, save a bunch of money, and then just like see a bit more of the world.
Travel.
To me.
Well,
It's
why
probably
not?
something for me I want to do.
Why not do a job that allows you to travel, for example?
It's kind of hard being an accountant and having to travel. Well, like in terms of traveling for the job, I could go and work
in that
overseas.
situation, yeah, either you would be an accountant overseas, which I know would require different accreditation or whatever.
Yeah.
But also maybe just putting that on hold and just doing like some sort of like tourist-based employment.
I really don't know. Like I've looked into moving into Aussie to work in Aussie.
It's just better there.
Moving to Sydney.
So much better there.
Yeah. And then I've also looked at moving to like England and seeing if I can get work in London or something. But I don't know. It's just if I do that, it's like I have to have the job because I've got to live. Because I hear it's like I know that I can live without the job sort of thing at this point. So, but I want to go back to Europe and I want to do like Eastern
same
Europe
as
sort of
me,
thing.
man.
So,
Do you want to live there for a period of time?
well, I'd probably like to, but it'd be hard not knowing the language in Europe.
For sure.
Unless you're with people that obviously speak it, which I probably would be, but I don't know. I don't know if I really have like goals per se. Like I know I've never really been one to sort of set myself goals.
Okay.
Like, sit down and be like, oh, I want to do this and I want to achieve that. It's sort of just like
Putting a
more
timeline on
short
yourself.
term. It's more like if I'm doing something like if I'm training for karate, I want to win this tournament, or I want to make the national team, or I want to place in this tournament or something like that. But no, I don't really set long-term goals because I don't like to plan too far ahead and then you don't really get there.
And I do think that's a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
I think having spontaneity is so important.
For
You
sure,
could sit there every Sunday, like right now time, and then you could get on your calendar and, I'm going to drink coffee from 9 to 9:30. I'm going to eat my breakfast from 10 to 10:30. That's probably the worst way to go about it.
And you're like, fuck.
You're well planned, but yeah, you miss it by a minute, and you're instilling in your head, you're like, damn
All
it,
my goals are
really
out the
messed up.
window.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
I don't know if I mentioned it before. I was just thinking about it, but a really good motivational speech that I heard a few years ago was, I think, when Matthew McConaughey won an Academy Award.
Oh, okay,
And he went up on stage and he said, he talked about role models, like people who inspire you and stuff. And he said, the only role model I've ever had is like myself in 10 years.
Yeah, I know that speech.
yeah.
Was that Oscars speech?
It was the Oscar speech, yeah.
That's great. That's really
So he told the story about this person who came up to him and said, who's your role model? Like Matthew? And then he goes, I want to do his accent so bad.
It's me.
My role model is going to be me in 10 years.
It's pretty good.
I was going to attempt to
Come back in 10 years and I'll tell you.
see who he is.
And so the person comes back in 10 years and then asks him again, like, oh, who's your role model now? Because it's been 10 years. You hit your goal, right? And he said, still me in 10 years. And it'll continue to be yourself in 10 years.
I like that period as well.
Yeah,
10 years.
10
I
years.
like the period.
Like a decade is a long time. And
It doesn't feel like it though when you get through the decade, but it is.
yeah, like I don't even remember 2010 now.
I do. It was the FIFA World Cup year, so
Was it?
it was South Africa. Yeah, so I remember that year.
But for us, we changed so much
The
from
Rugby World Cup was year after. That's how I remember it.
Yeah, we changed so much at that age.
Well, it's because we were
Still growing,
12?
right?
It
Exactly.
would have been
yeah.
12, so we
You
went
couldn't
through
even
pretty much
even-
our whole teenage years.
Yeah, you couldn't have even envisioned.
Well, it was our whole teenage years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
13 to fucking 20 or 22.
22. Yeah.
And another thing on the motivation thing, obviously being motivated to see where you are in 10 years. I think a lot of times when I'm sitting down and I'm messing around on my phone, I'm not doing anything, and there's things to do, I think in my head, I think, what would my kids think if they saw me like this right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to set a good example for my children when I'm older.
Yeah. So if you say like waste a whole morning to procrastination or something, for me, I always feel I'm always like in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And it always inevitably is because I could have been doing something to improve myself. But I don't know, like,
What to do?
that's definitely a thing. Like, sometimes I just don't know what to do at all.
That's what I'm like, and I'm like, I don't know what
Right.
to do. Like,
But
so I go to the gym, although I don't play video games.
Yeah.
Like, really, I'm not a big video
that's a
game
good
person.
point. But do you guys get that thing where you're not... Thing is, so you're not doing something to improve yourself, but it's not guilt, right? Because I think guilt is a pretty terrible thing. That's a different story, but it's definitely not guilt, but it's more just like frustration and like anger at the fact that you just like you're not doing something. Do you guys feel
It's hard now, given we got so many accessible things on our phones and everything's so simple and easy to do that you often forget what to do during the day, right?
yeah
So back in the day, as a kid, you'd go out, you'd run around, you'd ride a bike. But now, like, I'll be honest, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, all I want to do is just eat food and then sit down and like watch a video on my phone or something.
and just be on your phone?
And
Often,
that's what I think of, like, time periods of the day where I need to fill. It's like, I'll just watch a YouTube video and chill out.
Yeah, that's me.
But then I could be doing something else, right?
Yeah.
I could be... One thing I've started doing heaps is stretching in the morning.
I need to
That's
stretch
really
more,
important.
man.
Stretching,
Yeah,
and
fucking stretch.
I
We
do a
talked
bit of
about
light
that the other
yoga as
night,
well.
Yeah.
I do a bit of light yoga because the best days I have is when I go exercise in the morning. I feel like getting all that oxygen back into your system,
100%.
fresh set.
I miss gymming in the mornings, man. I can't really gym in the mornings because, you know,
Yeah.
use my dad's fucking gym pass. So I can't use it. I have to go after hours, but yeah, I miss gymming in the morning. I know what you mean. Like, you just get all that toxicity. Is that how you say it? Toxicity out of your body. It's
Yeah.
kind of just, you release it and you just
You start fresh.
feel lightheaded and just free, man. I love it.
I think that the best sleeps I have... sleep is another important thing as well. That's one thing I took for
that's
granted
the
at
thing I
uni.
still haven't. We talked about this 3 weeks ago. and
One
still
thing I
haven't.
took for granted at uni was sleep schedules. So a lot of assignments I did, they'd have like midnight deadlines.
Yeah.
I'd say it would be the same for you guys as well. And then it's straight on to the next assignment. So you submit an assignment at 12 and then you're thinking, oh, I got an assignment due in like 10 days. You know what? I'm going to stay up to 3. I'm not going to go to class the next morning at 9. I'll just do work now. And we were talking about that on the podcast the other time, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly,
I work better at night. But I think you can obviously have your pitch and say, oh, I'll sleep from 3 a.m. to say 11 a.m. I'm still getting 8 hours. I'm good. And then you'll still be up awake for the same amount of time a lot of people are for, like, I don't know, 15 or 16 hours. But I think something about, I think I read it recently in a book, is waking up at sunrise is really good for your mental health. Because you're waking up at the time where the day is basically starting, right?
Yeah.
You
I
live
think that's-
you live through the sun going across the sky and that. And I think that was one thing that I really messed up in my mental, like, well-being through university, is I would go to bed at 4 a.m. after doing an assignment, And then I'm so used to doing assignments at 4 a.m. My body clock is just fixed on this. And if I don't have an assignment due, there I am. I'm gaming or scrolling through like a website or something at 3 a.m. in the morning when I could just be asleep. There I am just painting my eyes with bright lights. Which is also another thing that messes up your sleep quite a lot. Is when you go to bed and you got your phone right there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That messes up your REM cycle. But yeah, I mean, sleep is definitely something that's really important.
Yeah,
I talk about sleep quite a bit.
I reckon I could still get like 10 hours sleep and wake up fucking tired.
The more you sleep, the worse you feel.
Yeah, definitely.
That's for sure. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Because you've had your sleep for 7 hours. I think it's 7 hours is like the recommended time you should have.
Yeah.
8 hours is good. Anything over 8 is bad. So
I think 8 to 9. I think I've heard 9 is.
I think nine's good for kids.
Yeah, I think you heard right.
I think it's for if you are an athlete, if you're like really physical, whatever. But no, continue. It's not important.
I think it's so for us right now. I think 7 hours is you can just have 7 hours and you can make the most of your day.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you can go to bed at like 7 and then wake up at 7 the next day, right? You're in bed for a long time. And I'd say it'd be around like 9 to 10 hours as a kid is probably good. Because obviously your brain's still developing. And then when you're like resets when you're older as well, you need more sleep when you're older as well because you expend so much energy because your body's so like deteriorating. It's like dying.
Fucking dying.
But yeah, finish what I was saying on sleeping and that is, I find the best days that I have and wake up fresher the next day are the days where I exercise. I do a couple of productive things. It doesn't have to be much. You can still have periods in the day where I sit down and do like nothing and like watch a show or do something like that. Because you go do your exercise, and I think exercise in the morning is so important. I will continue to do exercise in the morning now because I used to just play tennis at night. That was like the thing. You play tennis at like 5, everyone gets back from work. But going for a run in the morning and even just stretching, because stretching lets blood flow through your body. You're waking up feel groggy and you have a nice stretch and you feel so good.
Fuck yeah.
So for you, your motivation is more day-to-day well-being.
Yeah, I'd say. From what like McConaughey said himself in 10 years, in 10 years, I might have kids, but I might have kids. I will definitely have kids, but I might have kids in 10 years. I don't know if I'll have kids. I'll see what happens, but I keep wording that so bad. I will 100% have kids, but I won't know if I'll have kids in 10 years, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, so simple English.
I was trying to think of a joke.
I'm going to have my 10 hours today because
I'm
I'm
sure
so
there's a joke.
stupid.
Right, in 10 years we'll be 32.
Yeah.
So
that's, I mean.
Yeah, I'd like to have a kid before I'm 30. If I obviously get in a damn relationship.
Yeah.
I'd say after 30 for me, but
yeah,
that's a different topic. But on the topic of then goals, especially day-to-day goals. So we've talked about different goals that we have. I've always wondered why, if you know something is good for you, why do you still not do it?
What do you mean? Like,
give an example.
So, like stretching, for example. But I think for me, I don't want to say my Achilles heel has always been sleep schedule, I think, and just waking up too late, and then the adverse effects from that being just like sleepier, waking up late, and all these other things. Yeah. And so I know that I need to do these things.
But you just don't do them.
But I don't do them.
I think
99% of the population is
mental,
dealing with that exact problem, knowing they have to do something.
It's just mental, I think. Like it's like a ritual or habit as well. Like you're so used to doing it that you don't, and you enjoy it. I'm assuming, right? Like you don't enjoy you don't not enjoy sleeping 10, 11 hours. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it if you didn't enjoy it. It's just like you enjoy it, but you know that you shouldn't do that long. For instance.
Yeah.
You still enjoy it, so it's.
I can tell you exactly why now these days, like people struggle to do like. It takes 5 minutes to like stretch? Even that. It could take 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like such a small portion of your day.
Meditation takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying meditation is so great for you.
It is
great. You
great.
can't take 10 minutes out of your day.
Yeah. Well, I just...
Like you scroll through social media for an hour and a half.
That's what I was going to say.
You can't take 9% of that.
We've evolved into such information beings that taking the time away from your phone is... You feel like you're completely out of the loop now.
Yeah.
You feel so disconnected, right?
Yeah. I like cooking.
Yeah.
Get away from my phone, bro. I check music on my phone, obviously, but like
Yeah.
I'm not on my phone really, and I just like cook for an hour or something. And just do shit. It's just like get my mind.
I just hope by the time I have kids that we still have like, well, Lego's gonna be around for years, but that's one of the things I'm gonna push into my kids.
I've kept all my fucking childhood toys, bro.
Yeah,
I've
because
got my
they're so
parents-
important, like building
Yeah.
blocks, just things, little puzzles. That's brain
action
training.
figures and shit, bro.
But
Like, yeah.
I see so many, like you were saying one time in a podcast, one of our other ones, that in the supermarket you saw the kid on the phone, on the mum's phone, just messing around with stuff. It could have just been like a race car or something. You feel it. You feel it. You know what it's like.
Could have been a book. Could
Yeah.
have been something
But then you
else.
just have this projected image in front of your kid.
Yeah.
Not really teaching them anything.
It's so fucked.
Because we're such information beings now. So being away from that information is so hard to, and even a small window of 5 minutes, right? You feel like you're scrolling through, you're reading all these things like, oh, coronavirus is up to 52 cases now. And then,
And you feel so connected to things, but in reality, you're not connected at all.
yeah, you're not
Because
connected at all.
if that site closed, or if like for instance you unfollowed them, it's like you wouldn't give a fuck. It's like
forget.
you unfollow. If
No,
I unfollowed
exactly,
half
yeah,
my Instagram
exactly.
people, I'd die. I would forget about who's that, or I wouldn't give a shit about them. Honestly, I swear to God, about half of my Instagram people I follow, I really don't give a fuck about them. Like, no, not being a dick. I don't give a shit. I couldn't care
Well, I
what
think
they
it's,
do.
it's natural. Yeah.
Social
just-
status, though.
Yeah, I really don't care about them. It's like I don't even like half of them are selling their own like clothing line or whatever it might be. So I don't buy it.
I think the problem is that when we are not doing that, we just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Just straight up, like we don't know what things we need to do
I think
to replace that time.
Yeah, routine.
But I don't know if a job necessarily helps because
I did work outside.
a job
for
gets
that
you into the
as well.
routine and all that stuff. It gets you into that
Give you something
creative
to do, bro.
mindset. But
It gives you
a
something to
job
do.
is something different from self-improvement to a degree.
You can improve on yourself within the job.
You can, but you don't want to make your job your life, right?
Wow,
That's true, yeah.
that's true. But it is your life.
If you consider
In a
your
sense.
job the only time you're working in the day, then that's something's not right
That's a
there.
problem.
Oh yeah.
If you're considering all your energy and output and discipline is just going towards that job, you come home, you switch off, you watch TV, whatever. I think that's a problem. Yeah,
What would you do though?
that's the question. But I think that there's always a lot of good things to do, and I think that just starting something will lead to further things. So if you don't know what to do, you can either stretch or meditate. That's probably a good start.
Stretching and meditating is really
One
good.
of those two things. And I'm sure when you finish that, you'll be able to think of something else that you can do, something else positive.
I'd say like a good starting thing if you don't know like what you need to do is like you said, stretching, exercising, just doing something. You can have like a 30-minute window in the morning. You wake up at you get your sleep fixed, and then you wake up at 7:30, exercise for 30 minutes. There you are. You're back home at like 8 a.m. You're all fresh. You're ready to go. And then another thing is you were saying cooking. I think cooking is really good
Really good. Really good.
because you're creating this thing. It could just be like a frozen meal or something, but you create this thing and you eat it and it tastes nice. If you do it fresh, it's even better.
I love cooking,
Yeah.
man.
Especially when you start to understand the ingredients. You can make it healthy and tasty.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Just mixing that shit.
It's just being able to bring creativity back because scrolling through your phone isn't creative at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that I saw was that I saw a really good thing that I wrote down on my phone once, but you should aim to create at least as often as you consume.
Yeah.
And that's something I wrote down and ironically never
Followed.
Well, I try to follow it, it always is in my mind, like I'm always considering it, but there's always those barriers. But
And I do think another thing going into why we don't do anything when there's nothing to do is I got a good example of that is when, like I say, a new video game comes out, right? The first thing you do is you go onto YouTube and you watch someone else play it, and you can continue to do that. Why not buy it? If you like the game that much, buy it and challenge yourself to do it, right?
Yeah.
So people often do back
me,
down from
bro.
things because you don't want to challenge yourself.
It's also because
Yeah.
I know
You're
I'd
too
be
afraid
shit at
to
the
challenge
game.
yourself.
I know that I'll get angry.
But you can
at
get
the
better
game.
at it. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I'd be so shit. Like The Witcher.
Yeah.
I love watching people play that game. Well, one guy play that game, but I know that if I played that game, I would be horrendous, and I would I would not be good at it, and it just pissed me off.
Well, I think it's a great topic for another time.
But yeah,
Failure.
Yeah,
Because it's
recovering
something,
from.
and I think that is definitely part of it. It works its way into the whole when you're trying not to do something and you want to start something. I think that plays a big part.
That leads into social standing as well.
Yeah.
Do you
So-
really want to fail in front of all these people that now follow you?
Right.
It's like that's what's in people's heads.
And I think I think those are definitely if you can get over those things, I think that's you're on the right track to sorting that stuff out.
Yep.
But I think we can talk about it another time.
yeah.
Mm. We are at an hour and 30.
Yeah, let's do
Wow.
songs of the week, eh?
Yeah.
We'll dive into songs of the week. That was a good topic, man. I enjoyed that.
It was a great topic. I like talking
Man.
about that sort of thing.
I haven't actually listened to a lot of music this week. I was telling Josh about this before. I don't know why. I just haven't really listened to it.
My favorite song this week is
But,
Edward Norton on Joe
I'd
Rogan
say-
podcast.
Have you guys heard of Travis Scott?
This isn't my song of the week, but do you remember that Soweto song by
Yes.
Hieroglyphics?
Let's shout it out if it's not your song of the week.
But no,
Soweto by the Great
my
Hieroglyphics.
song of the week this week will be "Creature" by Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll.
Yeah, bro.
Nice.
That just made me hungry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop at McDonald's and why not?
that metabolism.
I
eh?
know.
Now listen to it. It's gonna different song to what you probably think it's gonna be.
Mm.
But no,
We'll listen to that.
Anything
We'll play
else?
we always play the songs after the podcast. Ooh.
come on. We know
Well,
you want to do it.
We
Come
were
on.
listening to
I'll
jazz
dance.
before
Yeah,
the podcast. I have a jazz song.
Come on.
No, you know what? I have a big jazz song.
Okay.
I'm gonna save it for the big jazz podcast.
podcast. Yes.
Whenever we figure out what kind of music we can play for a jazz podcast,
Yeah.
this is a big jazz song.
Okay.
So
Those big old.
look forward to it. This is a big.
You're gonna
jazz
keep
song.
the people waiting, man.
It is. I've been meaning to create some hype around it for a couple weeks,
Oh.
but the big jazz song is coming. Whenever we have a jazz, we're thinking about playing some jazz in the background and doing a nice late night podcast with some red wine or whatever.
Non-copyrighted jazz.
Non-copyrighted
Hey.
jazz, exactly.
Hey.
Safety.
We can sing over it. We got mics.
So I'll say the mighty Mos Def, the great and powerful Mos Def, came in just at the end of the 90s rap era. He was released Black on Both Sides, 1999. So right at the end of
You
90s
really
rap.
rehearsed this.
I just love this guy.
In front of the mirror.
But he's an incredible. I think he wasn't in the middle of the hype of all the rap, but I think he almost perfected it. You know, he came in late. He's got all like the delivery, the intelligence, all that sort of thing. So I'm gonna say Mathematics by
Good
Mos Def.
song. Good song.
Calculated.
It's a great
That's a
song.
calculated answer.
That's a calculator.
Hey.
And also because it's such a great song, Speed Law off the same album.
That's a good song.
You know that song? That's a great song as well. So
Well, my one has been not a good week. For me. I'm the same. I've been listening to podcasts this week. I haven't really been diving into music, but one dude that stuck out to me, his name's Don Toliver. He did
fuck yeah. He does the Eminem song with Eminem, and he also does the
the
song
song.
Wasted.
Which one?
He does No Regrets.
Yeah.
Eminem. That's a fucking good
So
song.
he released the album started this week with
nice.
Travis Scott was in it. But the song I like off it, it's called Cardigan.
Cardigan.
But like he mixes the words.
No, he's good, man. He's a
He
fucking
mixes the
good
words.
artist.
He did it on Wasted as well.
Wasted's a good. I like Wasted.
He says wasted, but sometimes he says you're gonna waste it. And he did it with Cardigan as well.
Whoosh.
So he says like, and in his accent he goes cardigan, but he says it to say card again.
Or Cardigan.
No. So
Cardigan.
you know cardigan, like you wear a
Yeah,
cardigan, right?
cardigan.
But he says card again, like a credit card and then again.
Right. Oh, okay, that's cool.
And that was a good song. It's got a good beat to it, and I quite like
great,
the album.
great.
But
Sweet as.
yeah,
Lyrics,
songs of the week.
beat, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Well, how good.
How
Thank
good.
you for
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully listening in through.
Yeah, well, that's been one of our better podcasts, I think.
It's been a deep dive.
That was deep.
I recommend
I like
this
that. I like that.
Deep.
We lost track of time. It's been
And,
fucking an hour and 30 minutes.
If you guys, I'm sure other people have their own goals or takes or methods. I'd love to hear them, honestly. I know we don't really get
Give me
anything.
something to do.
Well,
Yeah.
I would like to hear a lot of things about self-improvement.
I'd love to hear that.
I always pick
Yeah.
people's brains about self-improvement
Yeah,
because
for sure.
everyone has a different way of approaching it. So
Yeah.
let us know, please,
Let us
commenters.
Thank you very much for listening or
Yeah,
watching. Sorry,
thank you.
you should be watching.
Bit of both.
Yeah. Keep it real and how good.
Arigato.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. Bye-bye.